Storytime. Today our theme is Hooting Owls, so I will be reading some of my favorite books about owls. Stay tuned. So this is one of my favorite books of all time. It's called Good Night Owl by Greg Pizzoli. So let's go ahead and get started. Owl was settling into bed when he heard a noise. Squeak! It was a tiny sound, no louder than a whisper, a funny noise that he hadn't heard before. Someone must be at the door, said Owl. Just a minute. But no one was there. Probably the wind, said Owl. And he lay down in bed and said to himself, Good night, Owl. Squeak! And then he heard the noise again. It's coming from the cupboard, said Owl. So he went to take a look. He emptied every shelf, but there was no noise to be found. So Owl went back to bed. Good night, Owl, he said. And he heard the noise again. Squeak! It must be under the floor, said Owl. So he pulled up all of the floorboards, one by one. But he didn't find the noise. So Owl went back to bed. Squeak! This house has a noisy roof, yelled Owl. So he took down the roof. There, said Owl, no more noise. Owl got back into bed and the stars and the moon shining down where his roof used to be. Good night, Owl, he said. But Owl didn't close his eyes. He didn't dare. He knew that at any second he would hear the noise. He waited and he waited and waited and waited. Squeak! It's in the walls, Owl screeched. I'll get you noise, Owl said, as he tore down the walls of his house. Oh my goodness. But he found nothing. The cupboard was empty. The floorboards were pulled up. The roof was pulled down and the walls were gone. Owl went back to bed and he said, Good night, Owl. And then he saw the noise. Squeak! Owl smiled and said, Good night, noise. And they went to sleep. The end. I always love this story. It's pretty cool. He goes through so much trouble to try to find that noise. And they end up having a great night together. Next one is called The Littlest Owl, and it is by Caroline Pitcher. Deep inside a willow tree were 4 white eggs. 1 hatched, then 2, then 3. Deep inside a willow tree. 3 owlets blinked at the last white egg. 1 said, It's very quiet in there. 2 said, Maybe the baby can't get out. 3 said, Maybe the egg is empty. Maybe there isn't a baby inside. There is. Hoo, hoo, there's me, cried the last owlet, struggling free. And there sat 4, so dumpy, so small, a downy white ball. Deep inside the willow tree, feeding time was such a scrabble. 1, 2, and 3 snatched the food. They gobbled and gulped and blinked at 4. 1 said, "Oh dear, he's dumpy." 2 said, "Oh dear, he's so small." 3 said, "He'll never grow big and strong like us." "I will," cried 4. "Just wait and see." He scratched around the bottom of the nest and he found a worm for his tea. 1, 2, and 3 grew more each day. They jostled and trampled 4, so dumpy and small, the downy white ball. Mother Owl hooted, "Don't squash him, please." "I'm fine, Ma," he chirped. "I don't mind being small at all." 1, 2, and 3 were changing fast. They shuffled out onto a branch and they stretched their wings and launched themselves into the air. There they fluttered to and fro, as soft as moths around the tree. 4 called, "I'll fly too. Hoo, hoo, hoo." 4 hopped up and sat down along on the branch. He spread his short wings wide and cried, "Wait for me, I'm coming too." But 4 couldn't fly, no matter how he tried. All night long 4 bobbed and bounced. All day long he fluttered and flapped. "I will fly," he cried. I will," but he never even left the branch. When dusk fell, 4 crept back outside onto the tree, stumbled into sleep. Deep inside the willow tree, the owlet snuggled up and slept, but in the woods the wind rose up. It gathered together a terrible storm that whirled around the willow tree. The tree was old. It groaned and creaked. Wake up, screeched Mother Owl. "The willow tree will crack in two." The sleepy owlets struggled out. One by one they leaped and flew. They battled with the raging wind. "Come quickly, 4," cried 1. "What if he blows away?" cried 2. "What if he still can't fly?" cried 3. The wind blew 4's downy feathers flat. It bounced him like a small white ball and tried to push him from the tree. He stretched and strained and flapped and cried, "I will do it too. Hoo, hoo. Yes, I'm last and very small, but I will never give up at all." And he hurled himself into the high air. He flew and flew and flew. Look at him go. The end. So that small owl actually ended up learning how to fly. So we need to learn to never give up. All right, so here's owl babies. Once there were 3 baby owls, Sarah, Percy, and Bill. They lived in a hole in a trunk of a tree with their mother, Owl Mother. The hole had twigs and leaves and owl feathers in it. It was their house. One night they woke up and their owl mother was gone. "Where's Mommy?" asked Sarah. "Oh my goodness," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. The baby owls thought, "Owls think a lot." "I think she's gone hunting," said Sarah. "To get us our food," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. But their owl mother didn't come. The baby owls came out of their house and they sat on a tree and waited. A big branch for Sarah, a small branch for Percy, and an old piece of ivy for Bill. "She'll be back," said Sarah. "Back soon," said Percy. What do you think Bill said? "I want my mommy." It was dark in the woods and they had to be brave, for things moved all around them. "She'll bring us mice and things that are nice," said Sarah. "I suppose so," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. They sat and they thought, "Ours stink a lot. I think we should all sit on my branch," said Sarah. And they did, all three together. There they go. "Suppose she got lost," said Sarah. "Or a fox got her," said Percy. "I want my mommy," said Bill. And the baby owls closed their eyes and wished their owl mother would come. And she came. Look at that. Soft and silent, she swooped through the trees to Sarah and Percy and Bill. "Mommy," they cried, and they flapped and they danced and they bounced up and down on their branch. "What's all the fuss?" their owl mother asked. "You knew I'd come back." The baby owls thought, "All owls think a lot." "I knew it," said Sarah. "I knew it," said Percy. "I love my mommy," said Bill. The end. That was Owl Babies. That one was pretty sweet. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for our story time where we focused on hooting owls. I hope you'll tune in next week for our story time. Have a great day.